Hello and welcome to CIS 205, Introduction to Networking and Data Communications. My name is Rick Kasaya and I'll be your instructor for this class. Let's get started. I live in the Raleigh area, actually in Wake Forest, which is not too far from Rocky Mount. I work for Lenovo Corporation, and between Lenovo and IBM, I've been working for those two companies for the last 20 years. I graduated from North Carolina Wesleyan College in 2001 with a bachelor's degree in computer information systems. I also hold graduate degrees from North Carolina State University and East Carolina. I've been an adjunct at North Carolina Wesleyan for the last 4 years. So let's talk a little bit about CIS 205. This is a survey class, which means that we will discuss a lot of material, but given the time that we have available, we won't go into very much of it very deep. So a mile wide and an inch deep applies to this class. This is also a writing intensive class, which means that, well, as the name suggests, you'll be writing a lot. One of the chief features of that writing intensive component is a research paper. We will be discussing that more as the class progresses, but you can expect to write a research paper. Each week you will complete a chapter quiz, a discussion board, and you will complete some labs. Now, a note about the discussion board. This is an online class, which gives you the flexibility to do this around your schedule. One of the components that makes up a college class usually is some sort of attendance. Well, in this class, the discussion board will be your virtual in-class time, so it is not an optional component of this course. You are required to regularly contribute to the discussion board. You will see after you read the discussion board assignment for week 1 that the discussion board questions are usually pretty detailed. And again, this is part of your requirement in being an online student. So I expect that you're going to complete this component. Not completing it will have serious consequences for your grade. And again, this is a writing intensive class. Being able to express yourself in the discussion forum is part of that writing component. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know, but your participation is expected. Also, we will have labs in this course. A little bit more on that later, but you will be doing some labs. Assignments are due each Sunday at 9 p.m., period. There should be no confusion about when assignments are due because every week opens on a Monday and closes on a Sunday, and the assignments are due at 9 p.m. on each Sunday. So it shouldn't sneak up on you that it's Sunday afternoon and you think, oh no, I've got work to do. Well, hopefully you're thinking about that Monday because each week you're going to have at least one quiz, usually 2, plus discussion board and other assignments as well. So it's important that you keep up with your course load or you will fall behind. And again, that will have disastrous consequences for your grade. Contact methods. So since this is an online course, the best way to reach me is email. I will normally respond to email within 24 hours except for weekends. If I do not reply within that period of time, please resend the email. Now, I'm also going to be using something called remind.com. This may be something new to some or all of you, but this is a website that will facilitate office hours. We'll talk about that in a moment, but also chat sessions. And it may be a faster way for you to contact me. This is the first class that I've used remind.com for, and I think it'll really help us stay in touch. If email doesn't work or remind.com doesn't work, then I'm also happy to set up a conference call. If you feel like we need to discuss your progress in the course, or if you have something coming up that you think might interfere with your ability to complete the course, then a conference call may be the best option. So again, email's the best way to reach me. If you want to set up a conference call, happy to do it. Because I do work full-time for Lenovo, I might need a little time to set that up, usually a day or less, but happy to set up a call for you whenever you feel like it's necessary. To this, I'll add that you need to get in the habit of checking your North Carolina Wesleyan email account each day. Not your Gmail account or your other personal accounts, but you must check the official North Carolina Wesleyan student email account each day. That will be my primary conduit of communicating with you. So if there are updates to an assignment or other changes to our class, those assignments or those changes rather will be communicated to you not only through email but also through Genzibar. But again, you need to get in the habit of checking your North Carolina Wesleyan official student account email each day. Keys to success in this class. Hopefully this is not your first online class, but if it is, no matter. I think you'll follow the routine pretty quickly. But to be successful in this class, number one item, complete your assignments on time. If you're new to online education, it might seem like there are not a lot of fences. Since you don't have a scheduled or defined class that you have to attend, it may be a little confusing or difficult for you to manage your time in such a way as you're meeting the commitments, you're hitting your deadlines just as you would for a seated class. And this really is the number one criteria for doing well in this class. Complete your assignments on time. And that means doing them through the week. That doesn't mean waiting until Sunday, hours before they're due, and trying to complete something. Because you know as well as I do that in that sort of environment, Murphy will rear his head, something will get in the way, and your assignments will be missed. Again, I lay out the assignments well in advance, and there's really no excuse for missing a due date. So if you have any questions about this, again, send me an email, and I'm glad to discuss it with you. Number two, you must participate in the discussion forum. The forum is not optional. We just mentioned that a moment ago. So again, if you need any more details about that, please let me know. I know this is a fast-paced course, and you're already doing a lot of work, but you'll find that some weeks are heavier than others. So when possible, please work ahead. If you can read next week's chapter this week, then please do so. It really will work to your benefit. Use the Writing Center to review your research paper. This is a common area that students have trouble with in this class. The research paper is a big chunk of your grade, and it's important that you give me the best product that you can. As a student at North Carolina Wesleyan, you have access to the Writing Center, and I typically offer my students extra credit for using the Writing Center. In the past, I've offered my students a 10-point bonus for having their research paper reviewed by the Writing Center and showing me evidence of the same, plus integrating those suggestions by the Writing Center into the paper. We'll talk about that as we get closer to the assignment. And again, if you have any questions, just send me an email. Finally, do more than the minimum. This is a fast class, and we're going to talk about a lot of topics that are at the heart and soul of what makes IT exciting today. Cloud computing, mobility, security. These are perhaps some of the most talked about IT career fields in the industry today. So most of the learning that you're going to do in this class is going to happen on your own. You're going to ask what if questions that are going to take you off to do other things. And so that's why I say do more than the minimum. If you really want to maximize the learning in this class, then you'll go beyond what's laid out here in the website or in the syllabus, and let your curiosity be your guide. It really will serve you well. So, new features for this class. Well, number one, we're going to be using Oracle VirtualBox to create virtual machines. You should have received by this time an email from the college with your new Microsoft Imagine credentials. Microsoft Imagine used to be DreamSpark. And we will be installing Server 2012 R2 and Windows 10 in Oracle VirtualBox. So if this sounds foreign to you, that's okay. We'll step you through it. I'm not going to introduce those this week. I want to give everybody time this first week to get textbooks and get a little bit acclimated to our class. But beginning week 2, we will have some labs that will require you to install Oracle VirtualBox and then build virtual machines inside of Oracle VirtualBox. So if you don't have a laptop or desktop available at home, I need to know that pretty soon. But because you will be installing these virtual machines on your personal equipment. And finally, last new feature, I will be using, as I said earlier, remind.com to hold office hours on Wednesdays from 8 p.m. to 9:30. So it's important that you go ahead and register for me with remind.com. And then I will be available each Wednesday night from 8 until 9:30. If you need to stop by to ask a question about the course or just have some general comments, that's a great time to do it. So we'll try that for a few weeks, see how that works out. But again, that's a new feature for this course, and I hope that that will work well. So, as I mentioned previously, please let me know if you do not have access to a home computer to complete labs. You will need to install some software. I'll be providing some videos that will show you what and how to install, and this is pretty straightforward stuff. I think you'll find once you get into the labs that the material is appropriate for a survey course. But if you are looking at your computer and wondering if it's sufficient, here's what I would suggest that you have. Windows 7 or 10. 8 will work, but Windows 7 or 10 would be better. A Core i5 or higher processor. Now, you can get away with a slower processor, but when you start running multiple machines on a processor with fewer cores, obviously the performance will drop. So that's why I say if you have a Core i5 or higher processor, your user experience will be better. 4 gigs of RAM or higher. Again, this is kind of on the wish list scale, right? More is always better. If you have at least 2 gigs, you can probably get the labs completed. But 4 gigs or more, if you've got a system that will support more, 8 or 16 or more would be preferred. And then finally, hard disk space. You need to make sure that you have a minimum of about 500 gigs. More is always better, but a minimum of 500 gigs. And it's preferred that this not be USB hard drive space. So even if you have a USB 3, much better to have your virtual machines installed on a native hard disk. That means a hard disk that's actually in your laptop or desktop. You'll just get better speed that way. Better user experience. So, again, if you have any questions on this score, or if you don't have hardware available at home, please let me know as soon as possible. So that's it. That's our introduction to CIS 205. There will be more material coming. Again, this week, please take a look at the Genzabar homepage, and you will see that we have 2 quizzes, as well as a discussion forum that's due this week. So take a look at both of those. I will be online. I'll be on Remind, and I'm always available through email. So good luck. Have fun. And again, let me know if you have any questions.